Everybody, welcome to the latest episode of GeekStorm. I am Sean D. Hilton.
It's Dana.
It's true. Scully. I am the owner of Comics Cubed, founder of the Kokomo.
Woohoo!
What?
What? Of the what?
My mom's favorite son. Next to me today, I am joined by Michael Allen Harrison, proud member of the 501st, who I am sure has been incredibly busy. GeekStorm is filmed in the heart of Geek Street, located in the heart of downtown Kokomo, near the heart of this man here.
A lot of hearts.
And
are we going to adjourn to
the
the
doctor
heart?
has two hearts.
All right, go ahead.
So, if you need to find anything that you see in the background, you can always check out Kokomo Toys, where we film almost nearly every episode of GeekStorm in the beautiful area of Kokomo Toys, located at this address, because I don't know it.
Wow.
I don't know. American Dream Hi-Fi next door.
You should have stopped at Como Kokomono. That's where you should have stopped.
It's been a day or two. I've been on vacation.
It sounds like a new Disney movie.
So I think you guys had some people fill it in, but I don't know because I don't watch those episodes.
You don't watch the ones you're on either.
That's true, but
this is a really good show. I don't know why you don't watch it.
I was here for this, so I don't need to be here. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, that Star Wars movie's coming
Sean.
out.
Yeah.
So let's get right down to it. I want to know, who's Rey's father?
Well, it's the Emperor, and
What?
he back in the I can't. I don't know.
All right, so for those not in the know, the new Star Wars film is not, in fact, a sequel to Force Awakens. It is a standalone film. If you're watching this, you should know that, but just in case, I've been told that there are several people that actually watch this on Channel 2 while they're flipping around. It may not be that up on things. So this new Star Wars film is a standalone film, and you've got to see it now. What did you think? Your initial thoughts, impressions?
So we won't go into too much because you haven't seen it, and I want to discuss with you. But I saw it twice. It's really good. It's not my favorite by any means. Not even as good to me personally as Force Awakens. But Force Awakens, that's a tough call because Force Awakens had all the characters that you already attached to. So the second they hit the screen, you got all the feels. But these people you had to get to know, all new mostly new characters. So much different, but a very different type of movie. As Charlie Carlson said last night, it was very much a war movie. It was very much a front lines type of thing that you really didn't get the feel in any other movies except maybe on the Battle of Hoth.
Star Wars meets Saving Private Ryan?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Sort of towards the end, yeah. It was, but it was good. It was a good movie.
Action movie?
Oh, definitely action.
Suspense, mystery, or action adventure?
No, there wasn't really any suspense or mystery to it.
Okay.
But excellent work with the CGI. They brought back some characters in this movie that had previously was in 4, 5, 6, whatever.
Like we talked. Grand Moff Tarkin is returned as a CGI.
It's pretty amazing, and that's not a spoiler by any means because he's in the trailer.
Well, the gentleman who played Grand Moff Tarkin, Peter Cushing,
Sir Peter Cushing,
passed away back in around 1994, I believe.
Probably.
And so he's been gone for 20 years.
Yes.
And yet they now through the power of CGI, were able to manipulate an image of him. And from what you're telling me, not like some quick snippet where we're trying to hide the fact that an actor might have passed away towards the end of filming, like flat up, in your face, having dialogue with other characters, interacting, really good looking film.
There are main characters in this movie, let's say the 6 main heroes, that didn't get as much screen time as Peter Cushing does, as Tarkin does in this.
So and we're gonna have to do some research to find out. I'm curious, who got paid for that?
That's a good question.
I mean, does Peter Cushing's family get a paycheck? Does Lucas or now Disney own the rights to that character? And I can't believe that he would have signed over all that back in the day.
I saw an interview with Carrie Fisher one time in which she lamented the fact that she doesn't own the rights to her own image as far as it goes to Star Wars. Meaning they could put, they could make Princess Leia soup spoon if they wanted to, and she could say nothing about it. I don't know what she gets out of it, but she can't. She could, at the very least, she couldn't nix it. So that may be the case with this, that they own that image of Tarkin, and they own that image of that character, and maybe they can do whatever they want. Either way, I would think they would at least throw somebody a bone, because
if they use them that much, that would be absurd. So it's only a matter of time until I get a new John Wayne movie at this point. I'm very excited.
I don't know.
It's going to happen. I can feel it. It's going to be good. So, and we're coming up on the year end. Where would you put this as movies of the year that you have seen?
Just with very little thought into that, probably at the very most second. I still like Civil War. I still like Civil War the most of any movie I've seen this year so far. It's better than BVS. It's better than Suicide Squad, and those are just off the top of my head. Second or third.
Wasn't much that wasn't better than BVS. So
I didn't hate BVS. I just didn't. It was okay.
Pretty much. I'm one of those haters on that one. But I did really enjoy Suicide Squad.
Go see it. Go see it at the Indiana State Museum. Who is playing it 24? They did last year. I'm pretty sure they are this year. Played it for several days. They played it 24 hours, and. It's a great experience.
That's a true IMAX screen.
It's a true IMAX. It's a 70 millimeter film. They actually they gave me a piece of the film, the leader in that says Rogue One on it, and 35 millimeters about like that film that you see in normal theaters. This is a true 70 millimeter IMAX, and the film is about that wide.
Yeah, and the truth is you don't see any film in theaters nowadays anyway. It's almost all digital.
It is almost all digital.
I doubt that the operators would even know how to thread real film anymore. But and keep in mind, when we're talking about this particular theater, the Indiana Museum, IMAX, you're like, I'm going to go to the IMAX down the street. It's going to be a fun experience. You're going to enjoy it. That's a big screen.
It is.
They can say it's IMAX all they want. That's a big screen. When you go to the museum's IMAX, you're getting a true IMAX screen. We are talking a screen that is so large that you can get lost in the actual looking of it. People sometimes can get vertigo because of how steep the seating is in that place.
Last night I was almost in the back row, maybe 2 rows from the back, but because it is so steep, I still was looking straight at the middle of the screen, and I still had to do this to see. If I really wanted to see the battle scenes and see everything, I had to actually turn my head to look around and see the entire screen because it's so huge. It's 3 stories tall.
It's amazing.
Okay, it's like Godzilla.
As you know, I've lived in Massachusetts for a long time.
I didn't know that. Is that
one of the big IMAX screens?
Alaska doesn't have a big IMAX?
They do have a really big screen in Fairbanks, but I don't believe it's an IMAX.
They didn't just shine on a glacier or something like that?
Well, I mean, that's only for the Titanic movie. Oh, they did that for.
Excellent.
But that was a special thing.
Weird turn,
so, so that's what's going on with that. That's really cool.
We'll talk about it more once you've seen it. Sure.
We mentioned Suicide Squad earlier, and there has been now some news on Suicide Squad.
Yes.
I won't say breaking because we taped this and then we air it later. But it appears that the director of Suicide Squad,
David Ayers,
will be coming back to film the female-centric, not necessarily Suicide Squad, but the Harley Quinn one-off.
Right.
With and it appears it is going to be Harley Quinn, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy. It's what it's looking like, which is based on the Gotham City Sirens comic book. It was incredibly popular. Where in the Gotham City Sirens, those 3 characters who are traditionally bad guys, villainesses. They are more anti-heroes in this one. They're good guys, kind of girls on the town. It's girls' night out. So it should be, if done in that vein, a fun action-adventure comedy a little bit. I don't think they'll overdo the comedic elements, but I think Thelma and Louise with superheroes and villains and those characters, and I think that would give a good idea of kind of a Gotham City Sirens feel.
It could be. That is definitely one way they could go. Almost even before Suicide Squad came out, they were talking about Harley getting her own movie. And so if this is that, then I'm sure it is. But it is always a good idea, I think, to throw in some extra characters. And there's no reason she can't share the screen, equally with those other 2. If it is those other 2, I think now it being Catwoman and Poison Ivy. Is that just speculation because those are the 3 main characters in that thing, or did they come out and name those 3? Because you also had, did Black Canary did she jump in there a little bit?
No,
she didn't jump in Sirens a little bit.
No, I don't believe so. No, she was involved with Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey, right.
It was kind of another version of which predates the Gotham City Sirens. I believe the director might have actually put out like a picture, not of official cast or anything, but of those kind of characters.
Who do you have any casting ideas? We were talking about that a little bit earlier before you got
here. I think you're open for some wide open ground on these characters. You're going to have to obviously go. You're not going to stick with anybody that's ever done in the past, Michelle Pfeiffer, anybody like that.
Well, you go out on a limb and say they'll all be women.
But with the diversification issues that are going on right now,
Okay.
we could get a transsexual or somebody like that.
Sure.
As opposed to
Sure.
playing one of those
Sure.
characters.
Sure.
Very real. If they were to cast just a straight Caucasian male, the world would erupt and there would be hell to pay. So they would not do that.
Okay.
But I would suspect that we will probably see
Bold pick, Sean.
three females coming up on,
All right.
on the screen.
Do you have any ideas who those females might be?
No clue
Okay.
at all. I would happily see Emma Stone as Poison Ivy. That would make me happy. I don't think she needs that picture, and I don't think it does her career necessarily any good. But her with those powers, I think, would be fun. She would jump from the Fox / Marvel-y movies of Spider-Man over to the DC universe, which I think could give them a good shot. And as for Catwoman, that could go in so many different directions right now. You know, I think Jennifer Lawrence is probably your A-list female star, but again, she doesn't need it. It does nothing for her.
She probably wouldn't do it because it wouldn't be a Jennifer Lawrence movie.
She just did a Pratt
be my
film.
guess. Yeah, but that's a guy.
She's not willing to be
That's
Taylor
my-
Swift and start a crew.
My personal, I don't think
She
she.
just takes over Hollywood.
I don't think she would.
All right.
But and looking around at some of the casting, sites and stuff, different people's opinions. The ones I landed on that I would like to see were Natalie Dormer for Poison Ivy.
And where would people know Natalie Dormer from?
She is on Game of Thrones up until just recently.
Is that a TV show?
She did it. Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones is a TV show on HBO, which is a cable channel, which is on the TV.
Okay.
She's great. She played Moriarty in the CBS Sherlock series. Okay.
Excellent. I haven't seen that yet, but I bought the first season.
I don't know why you would. It's only been on for 6 years.
And
then
finish it.
on the Catwoman side, somebody mentioned, and I would like to see the girl from Quantico, and I don't know her name, but she's the lead. But she'd bring a really like a sultry smokiness to that role, which I think as soon as she walks in the door, you just get that off her.
And when I need that, and she's maybe a little bit older now, I go to I'm horrible with names.
Kathleen Turner, you are old.
No. Clerks 2. Pluto Tat. Yeah, Rosario Dawson.
No.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
What is wrong with Rosario Dawson?
There's nothing wrong with her.
Well, I want to know now. It seems
not
like
for
you have
this
a problem
role.
with Rosario Dawson.
I don't.
I just want this to go out to the internet world that I have no problems with Rosario Dawson.
I'm sure she's
And I think
awesome.
that she would make an excellent Catwoman.
I don't.
Why?
She's great in a lot of things. I don't think she'd be good in this as Catwoman.
What does she not bring to the Catwoman role that you think that this woman from Quantico does bring, other than a smoky sultriness, which I think that if that's your qualification, that Rosario Dawson brings that to the screen.
She's not smoky, sultry.
Maybe
She's too funny. She's too funny to me. Even in her serious roles, I see her as one of the guys. That's just the way I see her. I don't see her as like
that's
a
just crazy talk.
big sex symbol.
Maybe we get Halle Berry to come back. You think maybe? Just maybe? I've never seen that
Who
one.
is the girlfriend in the Nick Cage Ghost Rider movie? Eva Mendes. Eva Mendes?
Yeah.
I'd see her before I'd see Rosario Dawson.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, absolutely not. I disagree.
Which
so
is
strongly
which we
that
should mark them both off and
just
send our pick to
disappointed
Warner
with
Brothers
what
as.
you're even thinking. Hey, meanwhile, we've got some more casting news
we do.
in the world of Star Trek.
What?
Yes, they've already cast the captain,
Uh-huh.
who's going to be played by the actress from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, who even
Michelle
if I
Yeoh.
didn't know her name, I would just screw it up. She's great. So, but we are now in the know that this series will not follow the captain as the main character,
Right.
but number one,
Correct.
first mate, whatever they're going to call it in this version. And the casting was done, and drum roll please, I think some people of the show are going to be excited. I'm not going to say the name.
Because you can't. Sonequa Martin Green is who it is. Sonequa.
Martin Green, famed from The Walking Dead.
Sasha.
Tyrese's sister, who in the book doesn't exist.
Well, that's all right.
So I'm
Tyrese does exist. He's dead, so look where that got him.
So, I'm like 4 or 5 episodes behind on The Walking Dead.
Oh.
So for all I know, Sasha's dead too. So she's going to have time to be a captain on Star Trek, it appears. So I would say that her number may, in fact, be coming up soon.
How can you do a show on cable TV called GeekStorm, seen worldwide by millions of people?
All of them.
You've never seen Game of Thrones, and you're 4 episodes behind on Walking Dead.
Maybe more. The last one I saw was the Daryl episode. See, here's the
Who
thing.
do I talk to?
And I'm going to explain it to you. I love the fact that The
Hello.
Walking Dead returns during the Halloween season, and I love it. And then right up to Halloween, it's great. Then once we get past Halloween, I'm into Christmas season, and there is nothing about The Walking Dead, and I do love this show, that makes me think, oh, today I'm going to watch this because it makes me feel Christmas spirit and happiness. No. As much as I love that show, it is never anything but despair and horrible things.
Yes.
I don't need that during the month of December.
Sure you do.
So I take the month of December
We all do.
off from The Walking Dead.
Whatever.
Now, come January, I'm going to then binge watch like 5 or 6 episodes. I'll feel happier about it because I will get more information and more story. I won't be sitting around wasting time like,
You're making
oh,
all this
man,
up.
that
Every bit of
episode.
this you're making up.
I do it every year. Did it with Sons of Anarchy. It's another show that as much as I liked it, I don't want to watch that during Christmas. It just brings you down, man. So,
Sonequa Martin Green.
but the ratings on Walking Dead are crashing. But let's
There.
talk about Sonequa Martin Green a little bit more.
Should be great.
She will be, actually. I'm very happy about that.
I was before the show. I was going to look her up to see what else she'd done before Walking Dead, and I don't really know know of anything she's done. I'm sure she has, but she does great as Sasha, and it's a good character. And even more so, seeing her on the couch on Talking Dead, you get even a better sense of the type of person she is, and her personality. 'Cause Sasha is not a very happy person.
No.
Because, like you just said, it's kind of a depressing show. But she can be very upbeat, and I look forward to seeing what they do. And it'll be interesting to see what they do with transitioning to a number one instead of a captain being the main character. Although, let's be honest. Let's say Picard got first bill.
Sure.
But the show really wasn't about Picard to me.
It was an ensemble.
It was very much an ensemble.
Every week was episode of. It's
Yeah.
the date episode. It's the Geordi episode. It's this episode.
Even the original series was mainly about those three. You never really wasn't really about Kirk. It was about very quickly about the relationship between Bones and Spock and Kirk. So it's changed a little bit, but
I look forward to seeing it. I'm interested in it. I think that her bearing on The Walking Dead will lead to an interesting adaptation for a Star Trek character. Typically, Star Trek is about diversity and upbeat, a positive outlook towards the future. So we'll be going from this kind of negative connotation of the world to what should be, hopefully, a much more brighter kind of view of the world and a more positive nature. But we'll see, because she could, if they were to go to more of a militaristic kind of a feel for it, which I don't think Star Trek should ever do, but if they did, she could bring that easily over and be a very believable leader character that would be able to make tough decisions.
where's this series set as far as, like, say, Enterprise?
They have told us, but I think it's between Enterprise and between Star Trek.
The original series?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think you're going to get, I think it's before the 5-year missions is the official thing, I think.
Okay.
So looking forward to it. And of course, remember though, this is also like the first of the major franchises that's doing this experiment where the first episode is drugs. It's going to be free.
Right.
Then after that, you're going to have to get, is it CBS? You're going to have to get the CBS app or something to pay to see all those episodes. Now, if it's only $3 or $4 a month and I can get it with no commercials and no drag and no weird crap on my screen, you're going to love it.
I don't watch a CBS show. There's no reason for me to get that app or get that thing. I can't think of a single CBS show that I watch.
It's not like you were going to pay for it anyway.
Well, that's true. I did. Speaking of that format, though, and this is something that's happened a couple weeks ago.
The pay-per format?
Well, the having it somewhere else first and then coming over.
Okay.
This happened, and we never touched on it. Inhumans is going to. It's an ABC series, not going to be an offshoot of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're not sure that S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to even continue through the next year or not. This will not follow Daisy and the other Inhumans we've seen here. This is following the royal family.
From the moon?
From the moon.
Okay.
And,
Blue moon.
Yeah, blue area of the moon. And they're premiering the first 2 episodes together as a movie in IMAX theaters. And so you see it there first, then whenever they do it 2 weeks later, they'll show those episodes again on regular TV and then continue the rest of the season. And it's going to be only 8 episodes, which is great. I love that format because you really get good
What's it
story.
going to air on?
ABC.
ABC?
Yeah, just regular ABC, nothing else. But that's kind of an unprecedented thing where they were, let's say Game of Thrones did it where they aired a couple episodes, but not ahead of time.
Sure.
They did a couple episodes.
A couple have done that. I think Sherlock's done their Christmas episode last year.
Did they?
They did.
Did they air it there first though?
Yeah. Doctor Who's done it.
Huh. Well, this is cooler.
Okay. So yeah.
Inhumans. That's kind of cool, right?
It's kind of cool.
Okay. Black Bolt.
I gotta admit,
Medusa. Karnak.
I have. He can find the weakest point in anything, and with you, that would be a lot of points.
Why?
But yeah, I just fell out of love with Shield. Quite frankly, I was never in love with Shield. I was in love with Shield before it came out. Maybe the idea of what they were going to do with it. I really like Greg Carson or whatever his name is.
No,
but
I'm not even gonna help you.
I enjoyed that, but the truth is last year I got to about the midpoint, and it just felt like I had to try too hard to like this show. But, oh, you're gonna love it! It's so good. You know what? I do. I love comics. I love Marvel. I love all this stuff. This show's just not interesting, and I don't care about Daisy or whatever the hell her name was. And I thought that they handled their version of the humans in the show very poorly. I thought the whole thing had doing the twist agent at the end to make it so that he fit in with the other movie. Whereas interesting is kind of like a one take blunder. It's like, yeah, it was great for that one episode, and you tied into one movie. The movie's out of the box office and out of theaters in like 3 months. Your show is now going to go on for a couple more years. And honestly, he was one of your more interesting agents. They did, they reversed him and made him bad for a while, which was again kind of interesting. But
so you think they should only make episodes or do character points that will last, that can be viewed anytime at all?
Not necessarily, but it's got to be done better. It can't just be done for this cheap shot in the arm for that.
It was awesome.
I think you lost.
You're wrong.
I think you lost your best character when they did that. Really.
Really.
I think the most interesting. Yeah, Ward, his relationship with May was getting, was growing, getting interesting and stuff like that. They were doing some fun stuff with it. Almost had like a love triangle going on, and then yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Now they brought in Ghost Rider. I've been told it looks fabulous, but honestly, it wasn't even enough to bring me back to watch the show.
Okay.
So, yeah. Hey, you know what?
What?
When we're talking about all these comic shows, there's some great comics coming out. And right now, Dark Horse and DC have teamed up to do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Batman crossover.
Jesus.
But it's like a Batman Adventures kind of thing. They've already done a more serious crossover where it was them in the normal universe with the normal kind of art. And it was well done. This is done for more of an all ages readers kind of a vibe with it. But I read the first one. I'm halfway through the second one now. One of the best crossovers I've read from any of the companies ever. The art is true all the way through. It's got a great animated feel to it. Anybody that liked the 91 through, 95, 96 Batman animated adventure series is going to dig it. Anybody that enjoys the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animation is going to dig it. The story involves Shredder and the Joker and Harley and Clayface, and they intermix them in a way that not only makes sense, but it doesn't feel forced. A lot of the times when we have these comic book crossovers, they just feel like you're trying to jam that square peg through a round hole kind of a feel. But this, it really felt really good. They did an excellent job with it. It's a fun read. It's a good read. It's got a little action. It's got a little adventure. Tiny bit of mystery of how the crossover occurred. And so top-notch stuff on that. What comics have you been reading lately?
You're halfway through the second one?
What's been good?
You're halfway through the second one?
Yeah, well, because I had to come here and I was running late.
You had to take a break?
So, well, I could have finished it and been even more late.
Better digest the complicated
was,
nuance of giant hammers and turtles.
Did you read it?
No.
Then you wouldn't know.
I'm making fun of it. Why would I read it?
I don't know why you would make fun of such a good book. Something that's so quality, so good for the whole family. Something you could give, your 8 or 9 year old to read, and an adult could read it and both enjoy it. I understand that you don't, care about families. You hate families. But I care about the families. Speaking of, Comics Cubed is in the middle of a new initiative.
It is. What is it?
It's called the Swing Into Reading Program.
Avengers initiative?
We are going to donate $1,400.
What?
$1,400 worth of young adult reader novels to 4th grade classes in Kokomo and the Howard County area. There'll be 200 copies, 100 copies of 2 different books featuring the Amazing Spider-Man. Now these are going to be, as I said, novels. They're not going to have, it's not a comic. So, and we'll be donating those to school absolutely free. We are raising $200 to offset the cost of shipping and things of that nature, and so that I don't take a complete bath on this. But you can.
Well, you are charitable.
You can come into Kokomo's finest.
You almost said it. You almost said it.
going to Comics Cube, and we're asking everybody that when they come in, if you could donate $1. $1 will help
a measly
us
dollar.
donate a $7 young reader novel, and it's going to cost the teachers absolutely nothing. I will even go so far as to deliver them to the main offices of where we're going to put these books at.
Sure.
And
how magnanimous.
After only 48 hours, we're within like $25 of our $200 goal.
Oh.
So it's only going to take a couple more, donations to make it. And honestly, if we can make more, great. I will order more books and we'll get them into more classrooms. So, if we happen to get there, great. But we're going to do it. It's a great program, I think, to help make sure that, kids have got something to read that hopefully will
$25?
interest them. It's about $25 all it's going to take, I think. It might be 27, but we're really, really close to the goal. So
that's real money, though.
Comics Cube, come on in.
Amigo money.
There you go. What else you got on your list today, Mike?
Hey, did you see the new Spider-Man Homecoming trailer?
I did. Yeah. Now I've only seen it on the small screen. I'm going to assume that with the dropping of Star Wars, maybe they put that on it.
They might have not at the
your
IMAX
theater?
because it was
Okay.
70mm print.
Gotcha.
But all we saw there
What
was
kind of print?
70mm.
What? That's a big print. It's like
that big.
That big. All right. So it's big.
So it might be in regular theaters.
Okay.
I don't know. But I saw it like you did on the computer.
I was excited about it. I like where they're going with it. All in all, but man, there's too much of a Tony Stark influence on their Spider-Man. It didn't feel like Spider-Man. It felt like Marvel team up Spider-Man and Tony Stark / Iron Man,
Mm-hmm.
and so. Visually looked really cool. Still love the fact that we have an actual legitimate teenager who looks and seems to be acting like a teenager, being Spider-Man. The costume that we saw looked, again, really good. Everything's looking really good. Story-wise, I'm just a little afraid of how much involvement we've thrown Tony Stark into the middle of this thing.
I bet we see about as much Tony Stark on the screen in the theater as we see in these trailers, meaning I bet we've seen the lion's share of what he does. Okay. I'm hoping that, because from what I understand, the people who have gone through the script, it takes place a lot in the high school setting and not so much with Stark. It's not, I think they're throwing those things out there now to get people's interest and whatnot.
No Tony Stark.
Yeah, and he refers.
Look at how much it's involved in the Marvel Universe. It's not just the side thing that we're doing with Sony. It's really the Marvel Universe.
He mentions the Avengers in it, and Stark being in it, and then Parker mentions Stark is always on his case and stuff like that. So that they communicate, that that they're staying close somehow. I assume, I believe it's even in the script that, and I don't know that much about it, but that Stark is paying the scholarship for Parker to be able to go to this magnet school, with all the smart kids and things like that.
And then we saw the director of Iron Man 1 and 2 in his role.
Jeff Favreau.
As, I can't remember his name of the character.
Happy Hogan.
Thank you. It's not my day for any of this.
Usually
I'm bad.
You have a wheelhouse,
right
okay?
Now,
and I don't know what it is, but names are not in that wheelhouse.
Right now, it's always bad, but retail season right now has just really melted my mind a little bit more than usual. So he's in it, so I'm going to assume that he's the go-between. Plus, Favreau's really, he's a great little fun actor.
Sure.
I enjoy his stuff.
Sure.
He's money. So money.
He's so money.
Money, baby.
He doesn't even know how money he is.
So, if he only knew how much money he has.
I'm not. On even after a second and third viewing, I'm not that crazy about the Vulture outfit. I don't hate it as much as I did the Goblin, but we'll see how it is, see how it develops. You do see a whole lot of very quick snippets of a lot of minor characters. You see Donald Glover in the background in one shot. Maybe he'll become like the Prowler or something like that. Not the main antagonist, but one of the main driving forces in this movie, I think, is going to be is it the Tinkerer maybe? Mm-hmm. And he's going to be like the evil Tony Stark type, the type that does all the tech, and is kind of giving it out to all the people that have become villains or just want it. So you'll see a lot of minor characters like that that are going to get their little beats, but I look forward to it. It'll be
fun. I want to see it. The trailer didn't blow me away yet, but it's early on. So Netflix, man, I remember when we first started, it was like, hey, here's the one or two original Netflix series. Sure. Now there's so many original series or series that they've imported from overseas. Mm-hmm. So this is an actual legit original series that I just picked up this morning to watch. I watched the first episode of the White Rabbit Project, which is bringing the three co-stars of Mythbusters over into their own series. So you get Tori and Carrie and Grant, the guys you always saw in the background doing the experiments. They've now got their own thing, And it's very much like Mythbusters, where they do tech stuff or they talk about possibilities of science and whatnot that's out there. Every episode seems to be themed. I watched the first one. The first one was reality and superhero powers and the possibilities. So they test like an ice gun and how to make yourself an ice villain, mind control, exoskeletons, flying,
I've tried mind
invisibility,
control, it doesn't work.
stuff like that. And they go through and they do little science projects with people who are experts in those fields. And so it was interesting. It was really well done. They're about 45 minutes apiece.
Check it out.
And I think anybody that liked Mythbusters is going to love this show. If you didn't like Mythbusters, I'd still say give it a shot. And again, it's probably something to watch with your kids as well because of the science aspect. It might get them a little more interested in doing some experiments and just learning a little bit more about science. Cool. Then you wanted me to watch something I didn't get a chance to see yet. Black Mirror season 3.
Yeah, it's I think it's a BBC show. I'm not positive, but it does show up on Netflix.
It's like 6. I think this new season was 6 episodes.
It was. They're normally 3 or 4. Okay. This is the first one that was 6, and they've every few episodes they plug in like a pretty major star. This one, the first episode rather, had Bryce Dallas Howard in it, and it was really interesting. It's very much like a modern take on Twilight Zone, not always with that big twist at the end, but mostly
social commentary of some sort.
Yeah, and all the episodes are. I think all the episodes are supposed to be set in the same kind of universe where it's just near future. So you don't have super spaceships or anything, but there's little things like your phone that is 50 years off, but still within the realm of possibility.
The thing to keep in mind with this, and I haven't seen it yet because I was going to actually try to watch it this morning. These episodes are not Twilight Zone episodes. They were the one that you wanted me to watch was over an hour long.
Yeah, they're long.
And I love long things. I don't want that, but I mean, like I was hurrying because I had to take my mom to get her to a doctor and do some other stuff this morning. So I'm like, I need something quick to watch. I'll watch this. It's gonna be, and I was like, crap, that's really long. And then I was going through the episodes, and it was like 47 minutes to one was an hour and a half. And I was like, wow. So there's a lot of meat on those bones. Yeah. Well, we're over on time, everybody. So next week, if we're here, we'll be doing our year-end ending thing. Well, it's Friday before Christmas. That's
I thought you meant like
that's the
if
eve.
we like the royal we.
That's the eve of Christmas Eve. I don't know that we're filming that. Okay. The next episode will be our year-end review thing where we'll talk about all the dead people, which might be a double episode because there's a hell of a lot of dead people. Oof. So thanks for checking out our show, GeekStorm.
What's it called?
GeekStorm with Sean and Mike. Don't forget to check out Comics Cubed, Kokomo Toys and Collectibles, American Dream Hi-Fi, located in the heart of downtown Kokomo on Geek Street. Thank you very much. Have a good day.